to just chat. Just line up here. And now, let's not get political. Other than Obamacare, immigration, and minimum wage, keep politics out of it. Who would like to start? Susie Tanner, would you like to tell an anecdote?
Yeah?
Come on up.
Okay, I will.
Come on up. Say your name, and I know you didn't graduate, but we think you did.
I did. I'm an ersatz Oxy student.
Exactly.
I'm a summer theater alum, and boy, in like 1970 something, I was at summer theater and I played Ophelia for Omar's Hamlet. But I was also a student of John Ingalls at Hollywood High. And John Ingalls came to see the performance. Omar had directed a very lyrical Ophelia, a very, not an earthy Ophelia. And John Ingalls came and saw me and he says, Susie, he took me aside, went behind Omar's back. This is like a confession here. And he said, you've got to dig into it. You've got to be more earthy. And he really, and so I did. That was very bad. I changed my performance. And Omar was horrified. I'm so sorry. Now being a director myself, if an actor had done that to me, I would just have been just really furious. So I didn't blame him for being, and he took me aside. He said, what happened? What happened? What happened to Ophelia? Where's she gone? Where's Ophelia? You must bring her back. Bring her back. So I did. I love you, Omar.
That John Ingalls, total jailbait. What can I say? Sally Norton.
I didn't plan to talk, but I met Omar at Northwestern when I was getting my master's there, right after finishing college. And he was a friend of my mentor, who was also there. They were both PhD students at the time. And Omar was in summer theater, and I remember at their summer theater, he was playing one of the fathers in Les Feuillets du Scapin. And it was a funny production, and Omar was hysterical. And I wanted to know this funny man more, because he did the Omar thing. And he did it so well, and none of us can do it the way Omar did it. So happily, a year later, when I was looking for a job, one became available here. And it was in the theater department as stage manager for Thorne and instructor by special appointment in speech. And so Omar, I called him boss. He said, I'm not your boss, but he was my boss to me. And who could ask for a better boss for the first year of teaching? He was so kind and thoughtful and helpful and understanding. And I'll finish with just a little event. My degree came in the mail, and we were building a show, I forget what show, and I was back behind Thorne with my hand in a bucket of paint. And I hadn't told Omar. He walked in. I said, Omar, I got my master's degree. And he said, you did? And we left, as always.
At least he didn't say, what? How many of you would like to say something, just so I can gauge the time? Okay. So everybody's doing very well so far. I remember years ago, Norman Freestone told us a story about Richard Gilman's first couple of years, and Richard Gilman Richard Gilman was president of the college, and he called Norman, chair of the speech and drama department, and said, Norman, I'd like some critique on my public speaking. Is there any advice you can give me? He says, yes, cut it in half. And that's when the problem started for the speech department. Omar's version of, it's probably Norman, which is probably Dr. Lindsley and, Aeschylus, is stand up, speak up, shut up. So I invite you all, who's the next one to stand up, speak up, and shut up? Come on up. Yes, please. Please.
I wish Corey Brunish was here because, I'm Pat Lenz. Hi, I did not go to Oxy. Hi. I did not go to Oxy. My sister did, but I did 3 summer theaters. And I wish Corey Brunish was here because he used to collect Omarisms, and he had a list of them, and they were fabulous, and I was very proud to be on that list, because one night I was sitting up against the wall, I was very tired, we had been rehearsing 3 different shows, and I was just taking a breather, and Omar walks up to me and he goes, "Pat, you need a hand job." Short and sweet, I still do.
Come on. No, just follow it. Everybody can follow. It's so good to see you.
Oberholzer, okay. Hi, I'm Christy Oberholzer. And Oberholzer Naren now, and I will make mine short and sweet. Omar, gotta love him, joyous spirit, and cut to the chase, Omar, right? So we had to do for, I think, junior year, a dissertation on someone, and I chose Sylvia Plath. Well, the more I read, the more depressed I became, and I just decided I could not embody Sylvia Plath and do her full justice. So I went to Omar and I said, "Omar, I would like to switch." And he said, "Well, it's halfway through the segment. I wouldn't suggest it." And I said, "Well, I have someone fabulous. I would like to do Lady Macbeth." And he said, "Oh, I love Lady Macbeth." I said, "Can you really dig deep?" And I said, "Yes, I can." So I did a great Lady Macbeth, and I wiped those spots out of my hands, and he said, "Fantastic, you did really, really well. Fantastic, fabulous job. You get a C." I said, "A C? Why do I get a C?" He said, "Because you switched halfway through." So, absolutely, with a smile, he gave me my passing grade, gave me a huge hug, as Omar does, and sent me on my way very realistically. Yes, thank you.
Somebody come up. Lauren, and then Luann. Just come stand up.
That we missed the punchline, some of us.
Oh, repeat the punchline, Christy.
The punchline? Oh, is there one?
Gave you the C?
He gave me a C. Oh, that's a horrible punchline. Absolutely true. Realistic but fun.
It's like pouring vinegar in the wound. Go ahead.
Hi, Omar. Omar, this is Luann. Luann Oberholzer now. It was Luann Vise when I knew you. And I think that I think of you probably every 3rd or 4th day, and have almost always since we left here. You've been one of my major builders of me, and I can't thank you enough, and I love you, and I just want to say we all love you. Take care.
Thank you, Luann.
Wait, we must say, come back. Luann Oberholzer is my mother, and you will find her on the board. She won in, when was that? 1958, I believe.
Yeah.
The Actress of the Year. And Omar, when Omar sees her, his eyes light with joy. Yes.
Yeah. Well, bye-bye.
I am Lauren Lester, class of '83, and 5 seasons of wonderful, wonderful summer theater. And Omar, I'm repeating for everybody here what I already said to you in the video, so I'm violating the first rule of show business, which is never follow a banjo act with a banjo act. But nevertheless, I'm going to tell the story again. So, first of all, Omar was the first person to expose me to Shakespeare, the first person to expose me to Shaw, the first person to expose me to Greek tragedy, and he directed all those shows. So can you imagine a better way to meet those wonderful things than through Omar and Omar directing it? So thank you for that. So the story I have to tell is Omar had written a play called Laughing in the Sea Wind, and we were going to Arizona for the semifinals or quarterfinals, whatever it was, and we all had to get on a bus. And I was busy talking to somebody, and Omar was trying to get my attention to get me on the bus. Now, first of all, I have to set it up by saying, I think I was the only Jewish student that year, or maybe for many years, here at Oxford.
It's because we didn't know.
Didn't know. We didn't know. So Omar was trying to get my attention to get me on the bus. And as you know, I don't know if you know this. Do you know this? Omar can't remember names. Do you remember? I don't know if you know that. So Omar says, and by the way, Helen, thank you for the jumpsuit, because I spent many years doing wonderful Omar impersonations, and I needed the jumpsuit, so thank you. I still have it. But Omar would say, if he couldn't remember your name, he'd say, so I don't know what he's talking about, because I'm talking to somebody else. He wants me to get on the bus, and he goes, Hanukkah! So for the rest of the year, that was my nickname from everybody in the department, Hanukkah. So Hanukkah loves you. Thank you, Omar. Happy birthday.
I did not do summer theater here. I'm John and Grace Lynn's daughter, number 4. Wow. I can't do 60 years in 2 minutes, but I'll try. We had a New Year's Eve party at my parents' home, and my first memory is sitting on a staircase like this and watching Omar come in with a homemade pie. And people played white elephant, and they didn't take huge things wrapped up because they all wanted Omar's pie. It was cutthroat for the pie. And the 5 jingle bells were raised with the phrase, Omar is my best friend. Everybody in their life should be so blessed with an Omar. If you had just one, you're lucky. He stayed a part of our lives forever. My daughter Maggie is a senior here, and she'll call me and say, I found Omar on the lawn today, and we sat in the sun and we just chatted. And what you have to know is she says to me, I have friends who go to school here who have no idea who this man is, and they adore him. They say, every time I see that little man in a jumpsuit with his fisherman's hat, I feel better. So that's his impact, and I don't even think he knows that. There are 50 stories, but the only one my husband just reminded me that was just so funny. My dad and Omar bought their first car together. It didn't have a gas gauge. So they decided the best way to know how much gas it could take was to drive it until it went empty. It's really a good thing that you went into theater, Omar. God love you. Because those men were not meant for other things. So I'm bringing greetings from the Jingle Bells, from my mom and my dad. We adore you, and we always will.
Pleasure of chauffeuring Omar and Helen over to Jim Martin's Christmas Eve bouillabaisse feast, and we've done a lot of discussion about liberals and conservatives and theater and all kinds of things. So, but I've been blessed to work with former students of Omar's and to teach students who I can try to inspire the way it's just like we all go, we'll never get there quite, but it's such an amazing heritage to have here in the theater department at Occidental College to be part of this tradition that Omar really kind of inspired people to do. I know it was founded, he's told me it was founded longer ago than that, but we're just lucky to be here because of him, I believe.
Hi, I'm Lauren Lester. But I play one on television. I'm Alan Chapman. When I came here to teach in the music department, that was in the days before the theater department was exiled to this hilltop location for security reasons, which meant that we didn't tell you that. But it meant that every time I went to the music library downstairs in the building that we shared with the theater department, Booth Hall, I had the great pleasure of passing by Omar. So I saw Omar on the way in, on the way back, heard his laugh many more times than you could imagine. And I've also been very fortunate because I've still been doing for a number of years a Pasadena Senior Center lecture series every spring. Helen is one of the course coordinators, and Omar frequently shows up, so I get to see him. And it's the double pleasure of seeing my old friend Omar and seeing a number of old friends he brings with him that I've known for an equal amount of time, his jumpsuits.
Mary Brown. Give me an idea of who still wants to have something to say. Great, thank you.
Mary Woods Brown, class of 79, and I remember being in dramatic criticism in that seminar room in the middle of the department. We were all sitting around, and Omar says, all of a sudden, he says, "Everybody freeze!" So we all froze. Now, everybody unfreeze except Mary Woods. So he proceeded, with me sitting at the table, a little frightened, he proceeded to interpret every aspect of my posture, including the way that my pencil was held on the desk straight up, as a way of showing that I was paying attention to him with every part of my body. Now, it's true, because if Omar speaks, you listen. But apparently, I was the only classmate amongst the people in that room at the time who was paying 110% attention. And I was rewarded for it by learning a lesson that I've carried with me every day of my life since, which is to be present in the moment, is to show all the people around me that I am focused on you. I am paying attention to you, and I am here right now, and I am listening. And that's what I learned from Omar. And Omar, it was such a delight to run into you 2 weeks ago. Such a pleasure, and I still feel your hug.
Hi, I'm Nicholas Foreman, and I will graduate the class of 2025. I've known Omar for my whole life, and I don't really have a great moment with him because all the moments, I guess, were equally great. I guess that's it. Get better, Omar.
Yeah, Neil Tadkin, or as Omar famously once called me, Il Connectad. I'll never forget that. This is Il Connectad. I had all the right syllables just in the wrong order, but that was okay. So Lauren's memory of laughing in the sea wind brought to mind one of my favorite Omar moments. When we were being introduced to the set that Annie Sheffield had designed for this play. And it was a series of platforms, kind of looked like a bunch of piers, like off of Huntington Beach or something like that. And but then each platform would be a different space in the town and different people's apartments. And Omar is introducing this set, and he's saying, "Oh yes, and this is the space where John and Mary, they have where they're doing their laundry, and you can see it looks like Sam. This is over here is where Sam lives, and here he fishes off the pier, and then up here. But this space is where Mr. and Mrs. Smith live, and this is where Mrs. Smith eats her husband out." As opposed to chewing him out, which was. And I think half the cast literally just fell on the floor. And when I remember recounting that story to Alan years later, because you were on sabbatical that year, and hearing that story, and we were in rehearsal, I forget what play, maybe it was Fleener, but anyway, you just literally fell off your chair, and he was writhing on the floor of the Black Box Theater, laughing so hard. Omar, love you. There's just all of my most joyous memories of Occidental are linked to you.
Thank you, Neil. To this day, my son refers to you as Neil Tenadkak, or one of those things. And my favorite, can't remember your name, story was years ago we did Peer Gynt on the steps of Thorne Hall, and John was Peer, and Helen was the Green Woman. And their sexual encounter was interpreted in modern dance, of course, because in those days that's how you did sex. You did modern dance, and And I'll never forget at the critique that night, he's giving notes, and he was giving notes, and he, for some reason, I learned from Omar, you do not refer to the actor by their name, you refer to them by their character name, because that makes sense. And he looked at this woman and he said, and Sally said, Helen? Let ye beware, directors in our midst. Who's got a story? Who's got a story? Come on, Celinda, and then Andrew, and then Celinda. Come on up and stand by. If you've got one, why don't you migrate over here, and then we'll save some time.
Line. I don't know how many of you remember me, but I'm famous at Occidental because Omar said I can't act, I can't sing, I can't dance, and I'm an old man. Come on, old man, get some energy into it. So I'm Andrew Baker. I'm class of 1984. I have an anecdote and maybe something a little bit more serious. The anecdote is that when I auditioned for Spoon River Anthology in 1980, I found myself thinking that this was just a whim, just a audition, and there was this mysterious man in a boiler suit. That's what my dad calls it, by the way. My dad used to come and see the plays. We grew up in England, and my dad would say, well, who's the funny man in the boiler suit? And I've known Omar now for 30 years. I've seen Omar every year for 30 years. Omar and Helen and I'm blessed to say, have become friends, and my wife, and who can't be here today. So that whim changed my life. Omar Paxson changed my life. When you're looking for words to try and find a way of expressing the impact that someone has on you in your life, everything becomes a metaphor, everything becomes an analogy, everything is available to say, this man had such an impact on my life. Now, my wife and I are living in this wretched one-bedroom apartment while we rehab our house, and I looked up one morning, we're in the same bathroom, and I looked up one morning, and there's one of these, unguents that my lovely wife uses to lave and bathe and dress her lovely face. And on the outside of the bottle it says, dramatically different moisturizing cream. Dramatically different moisturizing cream. So I flew out from Chicago on Friday, and I'm walking around Pasadena yesterday trying to get some thoughts together. How do I go about describing this man who's had such a profound impact on my life? Omar is dramatically different. Dramatically different. He's not moisturizing cream, I might add. Everything becomes an analogy. But my life is dramatically different because of Omar. Packed me off to grad school, changed my life. And every time I come back to Los Angeles, I look to draw closer back to Omar again. Now, I was a double major, English and theater, and when I was in Spoon River, this can't dance, can't sing, can't act guy that Omar encouraged to do dramatic interpretation because I could never make my mark or hit a line or learn my lines, so I could just stand behind a lectern and read them. Cast me back to Methuselah when I was 351 years old, Omar in that play, so you got a ways to go to catch me up. I read a poem that has stayed with me for many years. I don't think when I was 18 years old I even understood the poem. I don't know why 18-year-olds study poetry. It's just vaguely annoying at that age. I've taught 18-year-olds how to read poetry, and my God, what a waste of time. Just complete, utter effort that you put into it. But then you realize that 30 years later they might actually remember that they read a poem by John Donne in English 104 with Lou Owen while they were in Spoon River Anthology. And it's a love poem. You don't even know what love is when you're 18, for crying out loud, but why do I remember this? And it had a compass in the poem. It was a compass. And the compass measures distance. And a compass scribes a line. And a compass draws a circle. And as the wandering foot of the compass stretches, the other foot leans after it, hearkens after it. Every time the foot comes back closer to the center, the two legs stand up. I don't really have to think about why whenever I come back to Southern California, partly because it's warmer, I always hearken to see Omar. I have a family Christmas. I have the birth of a niece or a nephew. I have a brother's wedding. But I always look to Omar. I never gave it thought why, but then I realized because I stand stronger in that circle. The line that I have drawn around my world has Omar at the center. He touches every aspect of who I became. Thank God for it. So when I think about this man, this young pup of 90 years old, I'm 351 in that play, and how to go back, Omar, and say thank you for everything you do for me to this day and continue to do, I'm not sure I could find the words to do that. Line?
Hello, I'm Celinda Youngheim, class of 61, so a lot of my references some of you may not even know. But a couple of wonderful Omar stories that I remember so well. One year we were doing the Christmas play, and Omar decided it would be nice to have an actual lamb in the play. And at that time, my father was connected with Pierce College, and so we arranged to, but the lamb was too small by itself, so we had to take Mom along as well. So I think it was at a green Pontiac or something Omar was driving at that time. We went out to Pierce and picked up mama sheep and baby sheep and put them in the back seat of the car and came driving back in. We did get some funny looks on the road. And then we got back and we decided they were going in one of the workshops, one of the old workshop buildings. And we just opened the door and they went scooting out and were running all around behind Thorne Hall. And Omar and all the rest of us are chasing them around. And I don't quite remember how we caught them. But anyway, they did appear. They lived in the workshop for a week. And that was just one of my remembrances of Omar having an idea and figuring there's a way to make it get done. And another one, one day I was in Omar's office and he was looking for a piece of paper to write something on, and he took something out of his pocket and started to write on it. I said, Omar, that looks like a check. Oh, yeah, that's my paycheck. I said, Helen is going to come down and pick that up. And just one final one for the play mill, when the play mill was first built, and I was lucky enough to get a stipend. I think it was $50 a month, which was quite a bit back then. And one night during intermission, Omar's on one side and I'm way over on the other, and Omar says, "Oh, Celinda, I forgot to pay you last night. I'm so sorry." So some of the things that we remember about Omar, how he has influenced our lives.
Hi, I'm Lucia Chappelle, class of 73, and I've been scratching my head for days to try and sum up Omar's presence in my life. It's a crazy thing to try and do. But I have to say, the first time I handed Omar a manuscript and heard him read my words back to me, it's like I exploded inside. I grew 2 inches. I became a whole different person just in that moment. And he was just sitting there. But he was reading what I wrote. It was amazing. Then graduation day came, though, and I was in big trouble with my parents because they found out I had an incomplete. And they wanted to talk to the chair of the department. And so I brought my father in to meet Omar, and they sat down. My father said, "I just don't know. I don't know what went wrong." He said, she's got an incomplete. And Omar looked up and he smiled and he said, "Oh, Dr. Chappelle, she's got a classmate that's graduating with 17 incomplete."
Henry Lang, class of 71. Omar, whether or not he knew it, successfully seduced me from the speech department and prevented me from becoming a lawyer, for which I will be forever grateful. But I do remember as he was getting me more into doing the theater things, and I was in summer theater, and Omar gave his speech to the actors about what was expected of them at the company meeting. And in very Shakespearean terms, he said that an actor is on time, and an actor knows his lines, and an actor doesn't get sunburned or tired. And then, you know, this was like the end of the 70s, so he felt he needed to address something else. And I will always remember this. An actor's body is his temple, people, his temple. And over the years, I have friends who played football at various colleges, and they always tell me, you know, every September they think about, you know, oh gosh, I'd be going back to practice. And I have to tell you, every July, particularly the 4th of July, I wish I was going back to summer theater. Miss you, Omar.
Hi, I'm Kathy Freeman, class of 65, and Omar is godfather to our oldest child. So he's been in our lives more than just as a teacher. He's been Alan's colleague forever. But I have to tell you two funny things. For years, like 30 years, he's called me sweetheart because he can't remember my name.
How many have that experience?
Omar and I were fierce baseball fans. So during the summer theater, when we couldn't watch the games or go to the games, we would listen on the radio in the dressing rooms. And one night, the Dodgers just had such a tight game. It was so exciting. And he and I were just going like this. And he said, oh my God, what a cliff dweller.
I'm Judy Daniels Corbett. My year was 56. I think I must be the oldest person here. Anyway, and I did a little summer theater too. In, I think 55, 54, I'm not quite sure, Omar directed Tartuffe. Beautiful production. Wonderful for the Halloween. And we were having a dress rehearsal. We were in Thorne Hall then, where you really had to learn how to project, because you know what that place is like. And we were not quite technically ready yet for this dress rehearsal. So the costumes were sort of pinned together. And one of those massive chairs that the dignitaries used to sit on when they had speeches in Thorne Hall, they had converted into a French something or other chair, but they hadn't converted it entirely, so the seat was not quite stable. And so that at one point in the scene, Larry Arnold, who played Orgone, I believe, all in fancy pink satin and ruffles, threw himself backwards into this chair, the bottom of which had not been fully nailed in, and his butt stuck out beneath. And then he grabbed his hold, and his shirt came apart, and on all of his satin and ruffles, here was his hairy chest. All of us on stage were going. And from the back of the hall came in stentorian tones, concentrate! And we did. God bless you, Omar.
Hi, Kirk Graves, class of 1986. You may remember me as Kevin, but after I started working at the Los Angeles Opera, he would always remember my name because I could occasionally get him tickets as we were coming through. So, I had the privilege of being in one of the final shows that he directed in my junior year, which was his final year here. And he tried an interesting directorial concept, which was to direct the actors by not directing them, to see what we would come up with. It was Ibsen. We were doing The Wild Duck. And we were all going like, so, any feedback? It's like, no, keep doing what you're doing. It's like, are you sure? So we had a great time working on that and very confused. But Omar, like many other people have said, you helped frame my view of what it's like to work in the theater. I have worked in the theater professionally ever since I graduated from here. I have you would be happy to know, I think, counting the shows I have acted in and counting the shows that I have done technical work for, I'm somewhere around 325. So you have a lot to do with that. Thanks, Omar.
Hi, my name is Bill. I'm Omar's son, and like I told someone today, he doesn't just have 2 children, he has thousands of children. And my sister and I had a very unique upbringing. We didn't have a front yard in front of our house because of bizarre location of our house, but we viewed the college as our front yard. And I ask your forgiveness now for being irritant in some of your hides when I was a little snot-nosed kid running around summer theater and as a teenager, but some of your faces are very familiar, and it's very fun getting to see you again. Living with Dad was, as some of you can imagine, almost like living with a cartoon character, like some of you can say. And Lauren, your name isn't the only one he couldn't remember. And now my 3 kids know where I got it from. He had, before the term child abuse was in vogue, we had this family tradition growing up. Some of you may have heard of the popcorn balls at Christmas time. And he would make this humongous batch of popcorn and then heat up to beyond boiling point caramel, which we'd use different food colorings. And you had to take a cube of butter and lube up your hands so you wouldn't get 3rd-degree burns. And so he'd pour the caramel on the popcorn, and then we'd had a mere seconds to form it into a ball before the caramel got too hard. And so you could hear our screams down the street, you know. Oh, just use more butter, just use more butter. As some of you may recall, the jumpsuit tradition started in the mid-70s. My aunt, to my mom's dismay and chagrin, my aunt gave him his first one around 76, something like that, 75, 76. And I'm not exactly sure what kind of animal they kill to make a jumpsuit. But yes, he had one in just about every color imaginable, and he even had a black velour one that he wore to church when velour was quite the rage. It was fantastic exposure I had as a kid. A lot of you had different experiences growing up, but the theater-rich environment that I had, so many of my friends and coworkers, they don't get it when I talk about what I got to live through, and I'm so proud that you guys got to live through the same thing that I did, and going to all the cast parties. Being there through all the red, white, and blue 4th of July parties, what a blast. And I retired recently, about 5 years ago, and just 3 years ago got into theater for the first time. And I was always, I never wanted to get into it before, but now I know what you guys loved so much. And that experience in the last 3 years has brought my dad even closer to me, and because we obviously didn't have anything in common with politics, but now we have something in common. And so I was in Sedona with him last June, and we're at this art gallery, and I see this sculpture, this very famous Greek mask, and I go, I don't know who that is, but I know that's a famous mask. I've seen that before someplace. And so I had to have it, and so I bought this mask, and Dad goes, that's Sophocles. He goes, one of the greatest ever. And so that will forever be in my living room, and whenever I obviously look at that, I'll obviously think of my dad. And thank you so much for coming out today. This isn't like the send-off. If anyone else wants to come and speak after me, that's fine too. But on behalf of our family, it means so much to us that you took times out of your busy schedules and lives to come here and share these anecdotes and these recollections. And we all love you very much from the bottom of our hearts. Thanks.
Could all of Omar's grandchildren stand up and wave so that we know who you are? Over here.
Hi, I'm Brooklyn. I'm Omar's granddaughter.
I'm Bryce Paxton. Omar's grandson.
Anybody else?
Yes.
Yeah, my name is Margo. I'm his grandson too. Here's Russell, his son, or brother. And I'm Brett Paxton, his grandson also.
Russell Paxton used to show up at most of Omar's productions, and we always wondered who his twin was, and it was Russell. So Omar's clone is sitting right over here. Be sure you greet him.
One more thing. Janie Dutra had a great idea she told me today. She said, oh gosh, if I had known that Omar couldn't have been here, we might have been able to set up a Skype
That's right.
thing that Omar could have seen us. And then I started to think, well, this is a man who, you know, when I plug in my GPS and my cigarette lighter, he looks around and he's where's that voice coming from? And he says, how did they get that woman inside that box? And he just, I've been trying to explain it to him for about 2 years now. He just, every time he marvels how they found a woman small enough to fit in the box. And how does she know when it's time to turn right? So I'm thinking, you know, Skype may not have worked with that.
There are tons of stories. There is time for a couple more, but I want Jim to be able to talk. And for those of you who got here a little late, Will Moffat, our wonderful videographer who hasn't sat down since he arrived, is over here with the camera afterwards so that you can greet Omar directly if you'd like. It seemed to me the most significant thing that Omar misses by not being here is greeting you. And you greeting him. So you can just imagine, if you haven't done it yet, giving him a hug and then telling the camera what you would have told Omar. Okay? But Jim, would you talk, please?
I want to give a shout out. I'm Jim Wheat, class of 74. My brother and I went into the movie business, and back then Oxy didn't have a film program. They had Omar and Alan and the drama department. So I want to give a shout out to all the producers and writers and directors and actors who went off into Hollywood thanks to our mentorship. He had an impact on our lives, and through his scholarship he continues to have an impact on students today. So if you are so inclined, I'd like you to join me in celebrating his birthday with a gift of the scholarship. That's all I have to say. Thank you, Omar.
We're in good time. Officially, we're 2 to 4. We're in really good time. I want you to have enough time to visit with each other because that is the second most important reason for today. But having said that, if there's something that's just burning that you really want to share with the group, certainly you can share it with the camera for Omar particularly. But if there's something burning, I hate to cut you off. How are we doing?
If we've already been up, can we talk?
No. Yes. Come on.
Well, this is something that my friend Chris Shelton, who, I'm sorry he's not here.
Me too.
Told me when we were playing, again, Hamlet and Ophelia. I was depressed one day at rehearsal. And I didn't know Omar well enough to know that wasn't going to fly. That you can't come to rehearsal and be depressed. You come to rehearsal to work. So I told Chris, I'm not feeling good. And he says, you know what? He says, Omar once told me, and it really stuck with me, and this really stuck with me to today. He said, Omar, I guess, had a problem with his foot or his feet. But he didn't let anybody know about it. Chris said, one day Omar said to me, we all have problems. Either solve them or don't. And then get on with it.
Theater problem.
Blake, who is our resident playwright, teaches her students that directly every single semester. I heard some kid come up and tell me that theater problems were happy problems, and I just smiled, and I thought, I know where you got them. Just great. Everybody, thank you so much. Please hang out, and remember what Omar said, eat lots of cake. And if you haven't had a chance to greet the camera directly, please come over here after Bill takes a break and finds the blood in his legs. And thank you, Will Moffat, for helping out very much.
Hey Omar, Will Moffat here, and just wanted to say happy birthday, happy 90th. We all wish you all the best, and of course we have some great memories. I met you in 1966 or 67, I'm not sure, but I was in Miss Alliance there, and I was not a drama major. I wasn't even on that part of the campus, but somehow meeting you and being in that show changed my life, got me to that end of the campus. Met a lot of people. I've had a lot of fun over the years working with actors, mostly from behind the scene. But I've loved it, and I attribute that to you and to all the people that you worked with. All the best to you, and we'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.
Hi, Omar. I'm sorry you're not here, and I hope we get to have another lunch at our favorite tea room again. And wishing you the best for a happy birthday, and again thanking you for all the wonderful memories I have about Oxy and Summer Theater and everything that went on here.
Happy birthday, Omar, and I'm so glad to be here to celebrate your birthday, and I'm giving you a big hug, and if you don't remember, my name is Blythe, and I graduated in 71. And Dr. Roloff sent me here from Northwestern, and when he did, I had never even heard of Occidental College. But then I met you, and we did summer theater, and I've been a fan ever since. Okay, get better, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
Omar, it's Alan. I haven't seen you in a while, but I've been seeing your commercial a lot, and I wanted to wish you a very happy birthday. I was thinking on the way over here, it was back in 1969 when I first joined Summer Theater that I first encountered that clarion call that has haunted the dreams of many a young Shavian actor. Move on the line! You're not going to a weenie roast! It stuck with me ever since. And I hope you have a happy birthday, and hope we see you soon.
Hi, I'm Mallory Walker. I was class of 1957. And I knew Omar all during my undergraduate time. I never did play with him, but I always enjoyed his sense of humor. In 1987, for the centennial, he invited a quartet of alumni to come back to sing in that concert. And I was so looking forward to seeing him today, and a special regards from Judy Reed Beckman. She was a class of 1957. She became a prima donna in Hamburg, and she was singing in Germany, but she was singing in a big house, and I was singing in a small house. But at any rate, we've been friends forever and on email, and she has a huge tribe of kids. At any rate, she sends her love, Omar. And I have something I hope that will amuse you. I have a short little song in Spanish called Tengo nostalgia de ti, amada mía, llevo tristeza en el alma, tenés y cruel, hay una lágrima roja en mi pobre corazón, ¿sabes por qué, mi dulce bien? Porque sentí sin ti, cariña, no sé vivir. Thank you. I love you, Guy. Take care. Get well soon.
Merchant of Syracuse, plead no more. I am not partial to infringe our laws. For since the mortal and intestine jars, since thy seditious countrymen in us, it hath in solemn sonnet been decreed that thou shalt rise from thy bed, healed in all respects, and return to us the better for this slight interruption in your otherwise tranquil life. With all best wishes, your fellow actor from Comedy of Errors, Tom Hubbard.
Omar, I'm disappointed not to see you and give you another hug. The last time I saw you was at the dedication of the Samuelson Alumni Center, and I had the occasion to tell that story during the OxyCorps interview. And I'm sorry I couldn't help it, but I was overcome. It's on tape in the Oxy archives. You can see it. We send our love and best wishes to you on your 90th birthday.
Hi, Omar. This is Charlie Weeks. I actually have to rush back to work. I'm working on another Survivor finale. And I'd just like to let you know that in the audio biz, we actually refer to this wireless microphone as a butt plug. Bye.
Hi, Omar. Hope you're doing better. This is Larry Smith, class of 74, and veteran of 3 of the London trips, and my years at Oxy and those trips are some of my most precious memories, mainly because of you. Happy birthday.
Omar, I'm hugging you, and I'm spilling my food all over you, and I love you, and I'm sorry you're not here. You have to get well, and the Huntsakers are coming in January, and they will be very upset if they don't get to see you because you're in the hospital. So, but don't worry, we're all thinking of you and loving you, and there are a lot of people here, and they have very fancy food, and I wish you could be enjoying it with us. But that's the way it goes. Tell your old heart to just keep pumping, okay? Love you, Omar.
Hi, Omar. Happy birthday. I had such a thrill when you came backstage to see me at the Pasadena Playhouse in February with Helen. What a surprise for both of us. You didn't know I was in the show, and I didn't know you were coming. And I love you dearly, and I wish you were here, and I would tell you if you were here, because I don't know if you remember this, but you directed me in my first Shakespeare, my first Shaw, my first Greek tragedy. I was exposed to all those things for the very first time because of you and in wonderful productions. And I just want to tell you one story. I don't know if you remember this, but I think I was your only Jewish student at the time, at least in the year that I was there. And we were going to Arizona to do your wonderful show, Laughing in the Sea Wind, right? And everybody was supposed to get on the bus, and I was busy talking to somebody. And of course, we know you can't remember names. You know who everybody is. You know who I am. You know everybody is, but the name, you can't remember the names. That's all right. We all understand that. And you were trying to get my attention, but I was talking to somebody, and you wanted me to get on the bus to go to Arizona, and you were like, because you couldn't remember my name. And you were like, and then finally you went, Hanukkah. So for the rest of the year, all the other kids called me Hanukkah. But I love you, Omar. Happy birthday.
Hi, Omar. Happy birthday. It is, wait, can we cut that? Okay, I'm going to start again. Omar, happy birthday. I can't wait for our next coffee on Tuesday, and when I can tell you happy birthday in person.
Hi, Omar. Pat Lentz here. I wish you were here. I'd give you a big hug. I was just sitting and talking to Alan, and I remembered when we went fishing with your brother Russell. I still have the bag I got that day. The fish, they're gone. But the bag, I still have. I miss you. I think about you all the time. My daughter just did her first equity show this summer. I so wanted to get you there. So, next time, all right? I love you. Say hi to Helen for me. Bye-bye.
Omar, you know there's nothing I could say to you to adequately describe how much you mean to me, how much you've meant for me for so many years. I deeply regret your not being here today, but it's an absolute pleasure to know that you will be watching this, listening to this, seeing me here, saying to you, Omar, I love you. You've meant everything to me for so many years. Thank you for that. I will see you soon back on your feet. Bye-bye.
Omar, my name is Wendell Mortimer. I was in your beginning freshman speech class back in 1954, and I was shy and scared to death when I got up in front of the class and recited something from John Steinbeck.
And you kind of brought me out of my shell, and I went on to become a successful trial lawyer. And so I owe a lot to you. So happy 90th birthday, Omar. Thank you.
Happy birthday, old guy. I'm sorry you're not here to be with us, but I'm glad you're somewhere that we can at least show this to you. I hope you have a wonderful birthday and feel better soon, soon, soon. I know Alan saw you this morning, and I'll see you soon too. So take good care of yourself. We love you and we miss you. Bye.
Hi, dear Omar. It's Susie Tanner, your Summer Theater Ophelia. I send my love to you. I'm thinking of you. I actually saw you at Bristol Farms last year during the holidays, but there were so many people I couldn't get to you. You were at the meat counter. So I'm thinking of you, sending all good thoughts, and you never cease to inspire me even to this day. Love to you, over and out.
Omar, here I am toasting to you on your 90th. Here's to you. Now, I came today to your party here at Keck prepared to sing all of your favorite operatic arias. I rehearsed for weeks, but since you're not here today, I'm not going to do it. But maybe you can coax me when I see you in Pasadena in the spring, eh? See you then. Happy birthday.
Hi, Omar. I'm Mary Ellen Garcia. I'm in the class of 69. And I played Rosalie in Lady Windermere's Fan, and that's probably how you remember me, Rosalie. When I came here in the fall of 65, I was so shy and quiet, and I decided I should try my wings and see if I could do drama. Well, I did drama, and I was in also in Lysistrata that Paul Sanford directed. And so I didn't do many plays, but I did enough to be inducted into the Oxy Players. And here is a sweatshirt from that period. And I was so embarrassed to wear it because there were all these naked ladies running around. But I want you to know that since then, since I graduated, I got a degree in Spanish linguistics and I became a university professor. But now that I'm retired and in my second childhood, I want to do more theater, and I took singing lessons. I want to do musicals, and nothing can stop me now. Thanks for your inspiration. Happy birthday.
Hi, Omar. It's Gertie and John Garner. Consider yourself hugged. We love you. Your pre-play lectures at the Mark Taper Forum were a huge part of our lives for roughly a quarter of a century. I can't thank you enough for the entertainment and education you gave us. Love you.
Hi, Omar, Dottie, and Jerry Burnett, and we've loved your many theater tours. They're good memories for us, and I look forward, and Jerry might too a few times, seeing you at senior curriculum. We hope we do. God bless you.
Hi, Omar. Happy birthday. And I want to tell you, after hearing all the wonderful things that people said, I'm twice as sorry I wasn't in the drama department.
Oh, Omar, you old rascal, you stood us up. But here's a hug and kiss anyway.
Omar, it's so good to see you. You haven't changed a bit, I gotta say. A little two-dimensional, but still good to see you. I wanted to tell you something. I was on my way over here, and my person that was driving the car, good friend Christina, I told her to take a ride at the Jack in the Box. And I said, you know, that Jack in the Box was being built in 1979. And I had a play called Sam, You Have to Go to Work Now that I was doing. And there was 100 feet of chain link fence in the parking lot. I needed that fence because we're doing academic theater. And you know what it's like to do academic theater. Well, lo and behold, at the opening play, we had chain link fence. Wonder how we got that? Well, pickup truck and some very good actors managed to liberate the chain link fence from a nice corporation, Jack in the Box. So that's why I always buy Jack in the Box burgers every time I'm in Los Angeles. I miss you, buddy. You get well.
Happy birthday, Omar, from the Omar fan club in Azusa, Jim.
And Jackie.
And little Jenny, the four-legged monster, who unfortunately is not here. But we love you, Omar. We really miss you. Wish you could have been here. But we plan to stop by either the hospital or visit you at home real soon. Thanks, Omar. Love you.
Hi, Omar. It's Judy Daniels Corbett. I'm so sorry we weren't able to see you today, but I did want to share this with you. You know, I never really got terribly into theater after I graduated from here. I did a little of it, but I ended up really being an English teacher. But all of my students who had to perform, present things, and so forth got a little bit of your wisdom. When they would come to me and say, "Oh, Mrs. Corbett, I can't do this. I'm so nervous," I would channel my inner Omar, and I would enthusiastically say to them, "You're not nervous. You're excited." God bless you, Omar.
Hi, Omar. I just wanted to wish you a happy birthday and hope you get better soon.
Hi, Omar. Happy birthday from all of us, and we'll see you at Christmas. We know it. And Alexander, did you want to?
Hello.
Happy birthday, Omar. We love you, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Hey, Grandpa. I'm sad that you couldn't be here to see all this. A lot of your friends showed up. I think you really would have liked it, but I hope you're doing well. We're coming to see you right now, so be happy. Look forward to that.
I just want to say I love you, Grandpa, and I'll see you soon.
See you later. Love you too.
Hi, and happy birthday, Omar. I'm Tony, and this is Mickey. You don't need an introduction for Mickey. I'm here representing not only Mickey, but my dad in spirit. And we just heard from your grandchildren on behalf of your great-grandchildren. As you remember, Mickey and I met on the third tour that I went on to Edinburgh and London. And so the fact that we are now still married 16 years later with 2 daughters, I hold you at least partially responsible.
Happy birthday, Omar. We miss you and I hope to see you soon. And on behalf of many, many alumni of Occidental College, I just want to say that we all are wishing you the very best. Thank you. Bye.
Well, hi, Omar. It's unfortunate to not see you. I hope you're doing well. My basic feeling about this is that somehow you're not old enough to be 90. I mean, you're not even old enough to be old. And I got to say that the most impressive moment that I have had with you lately is when you were at an alumni meeting and you told folks how you had invented the Occidental College Drama Department, and it never had quite struck me that way. So take credit for it. It was a marvelous, was and is a marvelous achievement, and many more happy years. Thanks.
Hi, Omar. Happy birthday. Eloise Porter, class of 67, music major. Always running into you around the theater department and summer theaters a couple of years. And I always enjoyed seeing you walking up and down the street in Eagle Rock when I was raising my kids. So I'm sorry not to see you today, but I wish you the best. And it's really good to wish you a happy birthday.
Hello, Omar. It's Deb Plummer from the Alumni Relations Office. I just want to wish you the happiest birthday from everyone, all the alumni, everyone you've touched, from the Mark Taper to the New York Theater Tours. Everyone just wishes you well and hope you enjoy the next year going into 91. Okay, we appreciate everything you've done and miss you. We hope to see you back again soon. Take care. Thank you.
Hi, Omar.
Hi, Omar.
This is Jane Dutra,
And Bill Anna Walt.
and we're here to tell you happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday.
And we're so sorry you're not here, but we remember you so fondly and all the great times we had together at Summer Theater and all the shows we did together. And I particularly remember teaching you how to do macrame when we did Mitchell Giannunzio's show, A Dying Fall, down in Thorn 8. And it had all sorts of macrame in it, and you wanted to learn. So I spent several afternoons teaching you how to do that. It was so much fun. I'll never forget it.
God bless you, Omar, and lots of love. Bye-bye.
We hope you feel better soon. Bye.
All right, so hi, Omar. Carrie said we should say who we are. So she's Carrie. I'm Trevor. And well, first of all, we're sad you're not here, but I wanted to say I feel like I've never thanked you, and I just wanted to thank you for bringing theater into our lives, because you and Mom, you know, I still do theater, and Carrie had a career in theater, and I just thank you for bringing theater into us.
Happy birthday, Omar. I love you, and it's so great to see you around town. And thank you for everything. Growing up with you has been wonderful, and I look forward to seeing a lot more of you.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, Omar. It's Mark Weishaus from 62, 64, and 73 here. And I just wanted to wish you the very best on your birthday. I'm sorry you're not here. I really came hoping to see you. Because you and, of course, John Engel had such a major impact on my life. And you know, I saw your play here about being married just a few months ago, and it was fabulous. I got to read more of the plays you wrote. You've got a real Shavian way of saying things. But I hope you are feeling better, Omar. I really do, and I hope it. You know, I see you in the near future. Okay, take care.
Omar, it's Lucy Lee, and I would tell you what year I graduated, but I wouldn't want my mother to find out. You know, though, and Helen knows, heaven knows. Here I am with my dear friend Mary Dollarhide.
Hello, Omar.
I had uncharacteristic stage fright, and so I decided to make Mary join me because, of course, we've been on stage together so many times with you directing us. Mary, what are some of those memorable stage appearances that we've made?
Well, we had Major Barbara, then we had Heartbreak House, then we had Pajama Game.
Who can forget Pajama Game?
I could.
Mary was the star, and I was a Corrine, but we had a great time. And Omar, we're thinking about you with so much love, so many wonderful stories said today that just can't be topped. The whole Lee family sends you all of our love, and I'm going to see you soon. And I know Mary is here all the way with her husband Andy from San Diego, so we love you.
Get well, Omar. We love you. You're a shining light in our lives.
I hope that wasn't dull as dishwashers.
Hello, Omar. It's Patrick O'Connor here, and we're really sorry you're not. But this is the next best thing. We want to say hello to you and tell you that we love you. And you'll probably remember my son Nick when he was down here someplace. But here he is now. He wanted to come too and say hello. And I'm sure you remember Lucia too. Lucia, that's her. Anyway, I wanted to. I was thinking back to. You did a favor for me when I needed a half a credit to graduate. So you agreed to do an independent study with me, studying Ibsen. And I guess the cost for me is you also made me read Ibsen's early history plays. So I think I am probably the only student you ever had who you forced to read The Viking at Helgoland. But I haven't held that against you all these years. God bless you, Omar.
Omar, hello. The instruction was to say the first thing that we would say after hugging you. And that would, of course, be, oh my God, Omar, can you believe what those Republicans are doing? Oh my gosh, can we get off in a corner and talk? The second thing I would say is, Omar, guess what? I've written a play. I have to tell you all about it. I love you so much, Omar. I so wish you were here. I also have hugs for you from Louisa Puig, who used to work with us in the costume shop, and from Annie Dusenberry. They can't be here this weekend, but they wanted to tell you that they love you so much and they wish you were here. We love you, Omar. You take care of yourself, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Hi, Omar. It's Melinda Weidenborner, Ebel Hair, from the class of 1979, and I wanted to wish you a happy birthday, and I wanted to say thank you. I'm one of the people who didn't go on to a career in the theater, and yet in some ways I did, because the skills you taught me, both in critical thinking in your drama crit class and in being able to improvise on the stage and think on my feet and have presence, have really served me a lot in my career. So thank you for that. I wish you all well, and take care.
Hello, Omar. Happy 90th. And I am just so thrilled to have been here and to hear all the stories from everyone again. Thinking back on my years, I cannot tell you how formative you were in not just my vocation, believe it or not, as a priest, because you taught me what great theater and great liturgy really looks like, but just in terms of my life. And your oft-said lines of theater problems are happy problems have been key for me, just to let go and be joyful, even in the face of problems, and that's actually become the root of my faith. So I thank you, Omar. God bless you, and I'm miss seeing you.
Hi, Omar. Happy birthday. I just wanted to go back to the 1970s when Ken and I were trying to rent some Disney cartoons, 16 millimeter films to watch. And we got down to the film rental place, and they said, we don't rent to students, you need a professor's signature. So we went back out to the car and thought about it, and just went ahead and signed your name, and went in and rented the movies. And evidently the company called you because they said there's a problem with students renting Disney cartoons and having wild drug parties. And you stood up for us and said, no, the Wheat Brothers are serious filmmakers, they would never do anything like that. And we were serious filmmakers, and we did love watching those films, but there were drugs involved. But we thank you for being our defense with the Hollywood establishment and for all your support over the years. We wouldn't have had a movie career without your unfailing enthusiasm for everything we did. So thank you, and have a great 90th birthday and many, many more.
Oh, Omar, we've had so many fond memories today, and all the things that have been said, which you will see on tape, and it just brings back the great times we've had together. And here's Josie, too.
Thank you, Oakley. Thank you, Bill. Omar, I wore this hat especially in your honor, and you're not here. But Omar, so you take it easy, okay? I just might take it upon myself to visit you in the hospital and shake you up there, shake up them doctors and nurses and make sure they're taking good care of you, okay? Okay? And Omar, I was thinking of telling the story about do you remember about the birds and we were in the costume room, and I had my and you were patting me, Omar. I just won't say where because this is too embarrassing. But anyway, so there you are. Omar, you take it easy, okay? We'll see you soon.
We love you, Omar.
Absolutely. We love you, Omar.
Hi, Omar. This is Luanne Oberholzer, but anyway, I'm sure you know that. I wanted so much to see you, and so did we all, and we will. And I wanted to tell you, too, that I love you, and you've been a big, big part of my life and a builder of my life. So thank you, and I love you, and take care. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Omar, so wonderful to have seen you in Pasadena at the show a few weeks back, and we love you so much. We missed you today, but your sparkling eyes and wonderful hugs are in our souls forever. I'm going to give you a kiss. We'll hope to see you again soon. Love you lots. Christy Oberholzer, Naren. Ciao.
Hi, Dad. Obviously, we're here, and you're not. You missed your entrance. How dare you? We're coming over to see you in the hospital right now. Just know that you have more friends like George Bailey, the richest man in town, because you've got so many friends. I love you very much.
Oh, you got it. All right, Omar. This is the good stuff. Woo-hoo. Delicious. Delicious, Omar. Delicious.